Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to the video for chapter 12 amino acid examples. In this video, we will discuss the solution for the examples here. But the examples is actually from your past year question, and for amino acid, the marks allocated is 4 marks. Okay, so now let's look for this the solution. First, we're going to look at for example number 1. Okay, so example number 1 here, it mentioned that the IUPAC name for alanine is 2-aminopropanoic acid with isoelectronic point Pi is equal to 6. Okay, so before anything, what I would like to draw is actually the 2-aminopropanoic acid. So this is the skeletal structure and this is your condensed structure. Okay, but then remember, we have 3 kan? 1, 2, 3 carbon. And the third carbon, we have our double bond OH. And then carbon number 2, we have our NH2. Okay, so when you mention about isoelectronic point, Pi is equal to 6, what we have to draw first is the Zwitter ion lah. Okay, the Zwitter ion structure, where our NH2 will accept hydrogen from our OH. So here, from NH2, it become NH3+. Our OH will become O-. Okay, so this is our Zwitter ion structure, and this is actually the condensed structure lah. This is skeletal, this is condensed. So both is accepted. Okay, so we have drawn the structure. Now let's look for the first question. Okay, they ask you to draw the predominant structure of alanine at pH is equal to 12. Okay. So, okay, for the structure of our amino acid, when at Pi, we become Zwitter ion. Zwitter ion yang ni lah, yang NH2 dia jadi NH3+, COOH will become COO-. Okay, in this case, dia kata dia nak tahu the structure when pH is equal to 12. pH is equal to 12, which is more than 7, maka the condition is actually a basic condition. So, for a basic condition, there's an excess of OH-. Okay, so here I'm just going to write down. So when pH is equal to 12, we have you have an excess of OH-. So I'm going to react my alanine with the OH-. But then again, which one we're going to choose to react it with OH-? We will choose the Zwitter ion structure. So from the NH3+, COO- ni, we will react with OH-. Okay, so from the structure itself, OH, we have negative charge. So it will not react with O- kat sini lah. It won't react here. Okay, so what happens is that, this suka opposite attract. OH- ni, it will react dengan H+ ni lah. Okay, so what happened here is that the OH- ni, it will accept. Okay, so base ni, one of the characteristic is to accept hydrogen. Okay, to accept proton. So OH- ni will accept hydrogen from our NH3+. So NH3+ ni, once it donated the hydrogen, it will become NH2. OH- ni, once it accepted hydrogen from here, it will become H2O. Okay, so NH3 ni akan jadi NH2 lah. But what happened to COO-? COO- does not react with anything. So we're just gonna let it be lah, remain unchanged. Okay, so this is the solution if it's a condensed structure. Again, make sure for the pH, okay, tengok whether it's less than 7 or more than 7. Okay, once we know whether it's less or more, so we know lah whether it will be in excess H+ ataupun excess OH-. But which structure that we're going to react with H+ or OH-, it will be your Zwitter ion structure. Okay, so that's the first question. The second question is to define isoelectric point. Isoelectric point is your Pi. So here is the definition which is available on your notes as well. So here it mentioned that the isoelectric point Pi is the pH at which the amino acid has no net charge. Okay, why we mention has no net charge? Because kat sini kan positive 1, sini kan negative 1 kan. So total dia adalah 0, has no net charge. This one lah. Okay, so that's the definition. Okay, the third question. Okay, dia bagi tahu dekat kita. Alanine reacts with HCl to form compound A, while the reaction with ethanol in the presence of acid will form compound B. Okay, draw the structure of A and B. So, from our alanine ni, kita nak reaction dengan HCl. So, in this case around, sebab yang ni tak ada kisah pH, there's nothing about pH ke apa. So, kita akan ambil yang structure yang ni lah, 2 amino propanoic acid. If we're talking about PI, pH or any value, kita akan ambil yang zwitter ion structure. Kalau kita nak reaction dengan acid, base ataupun in this case alcohol, kita akan ambil structure yang original lah. Okay, so first kita nak draw this structure with HCl. So here is the skeletal structure. So kita kat sini, kita ada amino acid. So for amino acid, dia ada 2 characteristic. Okay, this one, okay, for this part, NH2 ni is a base, it has a base characteristic. While our COOH, carboxylic acid kan, so it is actually your acid. Okay. So HCl ni is actually our acid juga. So when this is an acid, so acid ni dia tak suka react dengan acid. Acid will react with our base. So acid ni will react with our NH2. So kita punya carboxylic acid ni, we just gonna retain it as this one. Okay, but what happened to NH2? Okay, base ni, it will accept hydrogen. So, bila dia accept hydrogen, so NH2 ni dia akan jadi NH3+. So, when dia dah dapat lagi NH3+, so what we have ada Cl- lagi ni kan? So, we have to draw lah Cl- next to it. So, this is the answer for yang A lah. Draw the structure of E. Okay, so yang ini tengok bila kita nak reaction dengan base, when we want to react with an acid, kita akan reaction, acid mestilah react dengan base. Our amine is the one that has the base characteristic. Okay, so this is the skeletal structure. Okay, and then this is actually the condensed structure. So sama juga. Okay, COH remain the same. The one that have the differences is actually NH2 ni. Accept hydrogen, so jadi NH3+, and then comes Cl-. Sebab yang ni kan HCl, H+, Cl-. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, it mentioned that we want to react the alanine with ethanol. Ethanol in the presence of excess acid. So betul jelas ini H+. Okay, so when we're talking about our amino acid react dengan alcohol, apa akan jadi? This is actually a reaction of esterification. Esterification ni is actually a condensation reaction juga, where kita akan remove H and remove OH. Okay, which in total kita akan remove H2O kita lah. Okay, so from our carboxylic acid ni, kita nak removekan apa? Okay, so when we're talking about H dengan OH, tapi kali ni kita nak regarding our carboxylic acid dengan our alcohol. Okay, so which atom that we're going to remove? Kita akan removekan atom from OH from our carboxylic acid and hydrogen from our alcohol. Okay, so this is the skeletal one. Sebab ethanol we have 1, 2. Okay, so maknanya kat sini when we remove OH, okay, means terus attachkan pada dia oksigen. Kan OH ni dia tak ada, terus attach pada oksigen, and oksigen ni we have 1, 2 carbon. So here 1, 2. Okay, so this is the structure B. So this is your if you draw the skeletal structure. Okay, kalau tak pasti about skeletal, let's look for the case of condense. Okay, condense pun sama juga. Again, kita akan remove OH from our carboxylic acid, remove hydrogen from our alcohol. Okay, so from here, again, apa yang akan jadi? Yang semua ni retain sahaja macam biasa. Our CO ni, structure kita CO pun maintain sahaja. Okay, but then, we're gonna remove OH. Okay, and remove H from our alcohol. Okay, apa yang tinggal? Oksigen ni. And oksigen ni attached to it ada CH2 and ada CH3. So, CH2, sini pun CH3. Okay, so how do I know my ethanol is CH3, CH2OH? Kalau kamu tak pasti, you can draw the expanded structure first. Sebab ethanol, we have 2 carbon. Lepas tu, it means that carbon number 2 ni ada OH lah, ataupun carbon number 1 ni. And make sure each carbon must have 4 bond. Okay, kalau nak buat skeletal pun, nak buat expanded pun no problem. Okay, ataupun yang ini misalnya buat combination of condensed plus expanded. So again, yang ini COOH. Okay, I've made it as C double bond OOH. And the alcohol itself, yang ini sengaja je buat OH ni on my left hand side, so that it is easier for me to see. For my carboxylic acid, remove OH. For my alcohol, I'm going to remove H here. So sini lagi lah nampak. Yang ini kita retainkan sahaja. Okay. Oh, lepas tu yang ini, this one, kita ambil our oxygen ni jugalah. H kita tak nak tulis, tapi oxygen kita nak. So yang ini sebenarnya terlepas pula satu Okay, so just gonna draw CO. Okay. COOC yang ni, this one. Okay, so yang ini there are 3 structure yang Miss request. So which one, tiga-tiga diterima. Tengoklah mana satu kamu punya. Okay, so for this reaction actually we will form ester. Which one is our ester? Yang ni, C double bond O C. This is what we call our ester. Okay, so that's the for question number 1. Okay, next is question number 2. So dia bagi dekat kita sini, it mentioned that isoleucine 2-amino 3-methyl pentanoic acid is an essential amino acid. Okay, draw the structure, okay, and also its structure at pH 2, 12 and pi. Okay, so before anything, what we're going to draw is actually based on the naming itself. Dia ada pentanoic acid. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carbon number 2, we have amino. Carbon number 3, we have methyl. So this is the skeletal structure. But then again, when we're talking about, bila kita nak ada nampak je pH ni dengan pi ni, kita nak draw yang Zwitter ion lah. Zwitter ion yang ada plus minus charge. Okay. So this is actually in equilibrium with our Zwitter ion, where NH2 ni accept hydrogen from our carboxylic acid, will become NH3+. OH ni akan jadi O-. Okay, so yang ni structure of isoleucine here. Structure of Pi is this one lah. Okay. But then the question did ask you to draw the structure when pH is equal to 2 and 12. Okay, kita ingat dekat sini, when pH is less than 7. Question nak pH 2 kan tadi. When it is less than 7, then the condition itself is actually acidic. So when it is acidic, it means that we have an excess of H+. Okay, so from our Zwitter ion ni, we will write it with H+. Okay, so when we react it with H+, okay, again, it will react, dia tak akan react dengan same charge. So H+ ni tak akan react with NH3+. Okay, H+ ni, it will react with our O-. So apa akan jadi? Sebab O- H+, kita gabungkan sahajalah. So jadilah OH. Okay, NH3+ ni, retain sahaja. It is remain unchanged here. H+ ni will only react with our O-. Okay, so here I'm just gonna kalilah ni O- ni with our H+. Okay. So that is when pH is equal to 2. The question did also ask you to draw when the pH is equal to 12. So when pH is equal to 12, it means that the pH is more than 7. So it means that it is a basic medium where there's an excess of OH-. So again, the structure, we're going to choose the structure of Zwitter ion. Kita akan reactkan dengan OH-. So again, OH- ni, it will not react with the same charge. So dia tak nak lah. Dia tak nak dengan O- ni. So O- ni kita kekalkan dia sahaja. So what happens is that our base ni will accept hydrogen. Dia accept H+. Yang ni pula dia donate dia punya H+. So what happen? NH3 ni akan jadi NH2. Okay. And then our OH ni akan jadi H2O. What happened to our yang COO- ni? It remain unchanged. Okay, so dekat sini, it is very important for your amino acid. Tengok mana satu lah. Dia bukan semua tu akan react sekali. Kita kena choose. H+ will react with O. H+ akan react with O-. OH- akan react with NH3+. Okay, kalau yang lain tu maksud dia remain unchanged lah. Okay, so that is the solution for the examples question A. Okay, question B. Dia minta lagi, give the product form when isoleucine reacts with ethanol in the presence of hydrochloric acid as a catalyst. Okay, name this reaction. So again, we want to react our amino acid with alcohol. Sama macam reaction tadi. Kita reactkan our carboxylic acid dengan alcohol. Amino acid dengan alcohol. So, which one yang akan react? Okay, the reaction itself, the name is esterification. But again, this is condensation reaction where we remove H2O. Kita akan remove H dengan OH. Okay, H ni kita akan remove from our alcohol. From our alcohol means buat yang ruh ni lah. Carboxylic acid is my carboxylic, OH akan remove from my carboxylic acid. So again, which atom that we're gonna remove? OH ni daripada kita punya carboxylic acid. H ni daripada kita punya alcohol. ROH ni our alcohol lah. Okay. So what happened is that again, OH ni kita dah remove. Dia terus directly attach pada O. So dekat sini C double bond O terus attach pada this oxygen. This oxygen we have 1, 2 carbon. 1, 2. Okay, sebab the question tadi pun tanya ethanol balik kan. Ethanol it means that we have 2 carbon. Okay, this is the skeletal structure. Okay, this one is actually the condensed structure. Okay, so cumanya bila condensed ni, dia cuma kena hati-hatilah. Kalau condensed ni, sometimes it is easier for you to write down in terms of expanded dulu. Barulah betul kamu punya condensed structure. Okay, yang ini means buat in terms of expanded structure bawah ni. So again, the name of the structure itself adalah 2 amino 3 methyl pentanoic acid. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So carbon number 1 I have my COOH. Carbon number 2 I have NH2. Okay, don't forget carbon kan needs 4 bonds. So maknanya ada hydrogen sini. Okay, and then nama dia adalah 2 amino 3 methyl. So carbon number 1, 2, 3. Carbon number 3 ni we have our methyl. Okay, so sebab itulah ni CH3, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH, CH3 is this one. Lepas tu yang ini sama sahaja. Okay, and then for this structure, again, daripada ethanol. Okay, ethanol structure kalau kita draw dia macam ni kan. But here what I did it is actually I draw my OH at my left hand side. So it will be easier for us to see. We will remove the OH here and we will remove the hydrogen here. So that we will form this structure. Oh, terlepas lagi. Tertinggal lagi satu. Dan kat sini we have our, after we have our C double bond O, okay, terus attach pada oksigen yang ini Okay, so ada oksigen and this oxygen attached to CH2CH3. Okay, so this is the solution. Again, in an exam, mana-mana pun diterima lah. Either of the structure, make sure. Cumanya kalau skeletal ni pun boleh. Cuma make sure, remember lah, the number of carbon is correct. Sini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yang ini ethanol 1, 2. Okay, so that is for question number 2. Kalau kita tengok soalan dia pun banyak ulang-ulang saja. Esterification dia je lain sikit. You have to rearrange lah kalau tak nampak. Okay, next structure. Okay, next question number 3. Okay, here it mentioned that the PI value for valine is 5.96. So, kat soalan tu sebenarnya kat sini NH3 kan, betul kan dia adalah NH2. Okay, COOH is 5.96. Okay, so dia minta draw the structure of valine at PI value, pH 2.39 and 9.32 respectively. So the structure dia minta in terms of 3 pH lah. Okay, so kalau if you want just to label it as PI pun boleh, ataupun nak buat PI equal to 5.96 pun boleh. Okay, so this is the structure of valine. Okay, first when they ask you to draw in terms of PI, we want it to be our, what do you call that? We want it to be our zwitter ion. Okay, so, so first here, what I draw it in terms of expanded and condensed ni. Okay, so first dia bagi tahu, CH3 ada 2 kali kan? So, maknanya CH3 ni 1, 2 dekat sini. Okay, this carbon yang ini is this carbon. Carbon ni attach pada dia ada hydrogen. Ada hydrogen ni. And attached to this carbon ada 2 times of our metal, CH3, CH3 on the same carbon. Okay, and the carbon next to it, C ada H, ada NH2, ada COOH. Okay, so this is the structure. So once you have draw the condensed structure, I think if you draw it in terms like this, nanti baru senang untuk kamu nampak how to draw it in terms of our skeleton. Okay, so from here, okay, so this is the structure itself. So when there's water ion, again, COH ni donate hydrogen kepada amine, so it become NH3+. Our COOH akan jadi COO-. Okay, so if you want to draw in terms of skeletal, remember we have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. Okay, so ini kira carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon 1, 2, carbon number 2 we have our amino. Carbon number 3 here, we have our methyl satu kat sini kan. So kena tulis lah. We have to draw one of the lung here. Okay, so this is the in terms of skeleton. Hence, this water ion, macam mana? NH2 accept hydrogen, NH3+. My carboxylic acid donate the H plus, so jadi COO-. Okay, so that is the Pi structure. Okay, next is pH2. pH is equal to 2.39. Okay, again, 2.39 is actually our acid. So, bila dia acid, dia kena add H plus lah. pH 9.3 is more than 7. Hence, it is our base. Maka, we have to add OH minus. Okay, if you're a bit unsure lah, tengok yang sini Less than 7, it is acidic medium where there an excess of H plus. Kalau pH is more than 7, it is basic medium where we have to add OH minus. Okay, so H plus yang here, it will react with which part? H plus akan react dengan yang opposite dia. Dia tak nak dengan NH3+, it will react with O minus. Okay, so what happen? COO minus jadi COOH. NH3+, maintainkan sahaja. Okay, yang if the pH is 9.3, okay, so again, OH minus ni, dia tak nak react dengan, it will not react with O minus yang ni. It will react with our NH3+. Okay, tapi apa yang jadi? Okay, kita tulis, kalau tak pasti, dia kan base, so dia accept H+. Okay, our NH3+ ni, dia macam kita punya acid, dia donate H+. So, apa akan jadi? Base ni dia akan accept H plus from our NH3+. So, jadi H2O. Yang ini pula acid because it has donated H plus. So, dia bukan jadi H3 lah. Jadi H2. Okay. So, this is the structure. Cumanya, if you be unsure kalau yang if it is in basic medium, tulislah yang ni supaya kita ingat. Acid dia akan donate H plus. Base dia akan accept. Okay. Yang ini sebab when it reacted with H plus, it's quite straightforward lah. Okay, so that is the structure for question A. Next question is, valine reacts with 2,2-dimethyl-propanol. Okay, masih lagi our amino acid react with our alcohol. Okay, in the presence of acid catalyst to yield compound C. Draw the structure of C. Sama juga, we will undergo esterification. Macam sebelum ni, it's just that esterification, kita akan remove H dengan OH. Okay, tapi dalam case ni, dia bagi dekat kita, the structure is 2,2-dimethyl-propanol. Okay, so maknanya from our carboxylic acid, from our amino acid, okay, 2,2-dimethyl, propanol. Okay, because the structure bagi tahu propanol kan 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2, 2. So on carbon number 2 ada methyl sini, methyl sini. Okay, so this is the expanded structure. Yang ni mesti terus buat macam ni supaya it is clear for us to see that we're going to remove OH from our carboxylic acid, remove H from our alcohol. So apa yang jadi? Kita gabungkanlah saja. This one is this one. Okay, and then yang O ni, kita ambil yang starting from O. Okay, so it's this one. Okay, so this is actually the expanded structure ataupun the skeleton, the condensed plus dengan expanded. Okay. The second one ni is more to your condensed structure lagi. Yang ni Miss dah tulis yang dia adalah CH3. Okay, CH3. Macam ni balik. CHNH2. This one is the same as this one lah. Okay, and this one pun sama juga. How do I draw it? CH3 ni, sebab yang ni CH3 yang kat sini. Okay, CH3 2 times. Is this one. CH2 is this part. And OH, kita punya alcohol lah. Okay, the same one kat sini we're gonna remove OH from here dengan H from here. Sebab tu dah CO yang hijau ni terus jumpa dengan oksigen ni. But remember, this oxygen connected to CH2. So CH2 dululah. This CH2 connected to carbon that have 2 methyl group. So kita tulis kat sini. And the last one is CH3. Or if you're confident enough, you can draw it in terms of skeleton. Okay, so ni skeleton kita tadi kan. 1, 2, 3, 4. The structure itself. Nama structure dia apa tadi? Oh, dia tak ada bagi nama kan. Tapi we have drawn the structure. Okay, so this is the structure. And then dia adalah 2,2-dimethyl-propanol. 1, 2, 3. Carbon number 2 ni we have yang methyl sini, methyl sini. Okay, so again, we're going to remove the hydrogen from, the OH from our our carboxylic acid ni. Hydrogen from our alcohol. Okay, so again, C double bond O ni terus attach pada this oxygen. This oxygen ada 1, 2, 3. So, sini pun 1, 2, 3. Carbon number 2 ni we have carbon A dengan B. So, A dengan B. Okay. So, this is the solution. So, up to you lah which one you're comfortable with. Mana-mana pun boleh lukis. Make sure lah kena cukup semua carbon dia. Okay, so again yang ini pun dah nampak 3 tahun berturut ni. I think 3 tahun berturut kat maknanya the past year question pun banyak buat esterification kan. It's just that yang ini nampak straightforward sikit. Kalau tengok yang mana kamu comfortable lah. Kalau rasa senang nak nampak yang macam ni, biarlah walaupun kena take some time untuk buat, let it be. Asalkan betul. Okay. Next question. Question number 4. Here it mentioned that the amino acid has amphoteric properties. By using serine below as an example, explain what is meant by amphoteric properties. Okay, amphoteric ni sebenarnya kita ada jumpa waktu kita belajar periodic table semester 1. Tapi seramai tak ingat dah Okay, so what does it mean by amphoteric? Amphoteric ni maksud dia, that molecule dia it shows acidic and basic properties. Okay, dia kalau contohnya kita nak kata dia acid saja tapi dia tunjuk basic properties. Tapi kalau kita kata dia adalah base, is a base, it shows the acidic properties. So tak bolehlah dia dua-dua. So amphoteric properties ni adalah both acidic and basic. Okay, ataupun boleh juga kita tulis serine can act as a base as and an acid lah juga. Okay, why? Because our COOH ni ni yang react sebagai kita punya acid. Our NH2 ni yang akan react as our base. Okay. So, when we're talking about amphoteric properties, kita akan ambil the structure of our amino acid. Bukan yang zwitter ion tu lah. Okay. So, next question dia minta. Yang ini je jawapan dia. Okay, next question. Write chemical equation to show the amphoteric properties. So, we have to show the reaction. Maksud dia, we have to show the reaction dia dengan acid, dengan base juga. Okay. So first, the same structure yang sama ni, Miss reaction dengan acid dulu. Acid is my HCl. So, my HCl is my acid. HCl is my acid. So, my acid ni will react with my base. Base yang mana? Base is my NH2. Okay, so dekat sini, I'm just gonna color this one lah. Okay, so HCl ni akan react dengan yang NH2 ni lah. Acid and base. Okay, so what happen is that, remember, base ni dia accept H. H plus. HCl ni dia donate H plus. Acid kita kan. So what happen? H ni will donate the hydrogen. HCl will donate the H plus to NH2. So jadilah NH3 plus. So what is left is my Cl minus pun kena tulis juga. Okay. So kat sini kita tulis, okay, serine will act as a base when reacting with an acid. Okay, yang our carboxylic acid ni maintainkan sahaja. Our alcohol ni pun maintainkan sahaja. Alcohol is not an acid, is very very weak acid. It is not juga a base. So sebab itulah OH ni retainkan sahaja the structure. Okay, so we have show the reaction with an acid. Next, we have to show the reaction with a base. Okay, so the same structure serine ni, kita reaction dengan base kita. So again, just gonna write down this is my base. So which one is my acid? Is my carboxylic acid part lah. So this is my NaO ni. Sekarang ni akan react dengan my carboxylic acid pula. Okay, so macam mana dia punya reaction? Okay, so sama juga macam mana yang kita ada reaction previously in carboxylic acid. Okay, so OH ni will combine with H. OH will combine with H to form H2O. So what is left is actually O dengan, so what is left is our O dengan Na. So kita nak tulis O minus, Na ni kenalah tunjuk dia adalah Na plus. Yang ni is the reaction of our carboxylic acid. Sebelum ni kita dah nampak kan? Carboxylic acid nampak boleh react dengan NaO, phenol pun boleh react dengan NaO. Okay, so we have to mention that the serine will act as an acid when reacting with a base. Okay, so maksudnya dekat sini remember when the acid dia donate H+. Base ni dia akan, ataupun kita ambil accept H+ ni lah. So sebab ini kan Na plus OH minus. Okay, OH minus ni akan accept H+. So Na plus ni akan gabung dengan O minus kita. Okay, so that is the structure. Okay, that is the solution itself lah for this question. Okay, last one, question number 5. Okay, so here it mentioned that the structural formula of tyrosine is shown below. Write the chemical equation when tyrosine react with NaO, react with HCl, and react with methanol. Okay, so sama juga bila structure minta kita when the question asks you to react it with your acid ataupun base, kita akan ambil structure ni terus lah. Kalau soalan ada bagi PI, pH is equal to 2 ke, tu we have to draw the yang NH3+, yang COO minus. But then the question tak kan, so kita ambil sahaja the structure of tyrosine here. So first dia react dengan NaO. Okay, NaO ni is actually our base. So base ni dia nak react dengan acid. So I'm just gonna highlight it here. Maknanya kita akan reaktkan COOH dengan my NaO. Okay, so what happen is that base ni dia akan accept H+. Acid ni dia donate H+. So, H ni, dia akan react dengan OH ni to form H2O. So, what is left is our oxygen dengan sodium. But then, dia ada charge dia lah O minus Na+. Okay, how about our NH2 ni? NH2 ni is our base. Dia tak nak react dengan base juga. Alkohol ni pun tak nak react. Alkohol ni, it's very weak acid. Tapi dia juga bukanlah base juga. It's very weak base as well lah. Okay, so dia tak nak lah. So that is for your NaO. Sama macam question previously. Okay, next is when we react our tyrosine with HCl solution. So again, in this case around, HCl is our acid. Acid nak react dengan base. So this is my COOH is carboxylic acid kan. So tak naklah reaktkan dia. Acid dia nak react dengan base. Base is our NH2. Kalau kamu masih ingat, in amine we have learned about basicity kan, basic. So NH2 ni is a base. Okay, so kita akan reaktkan NH2 ni with HCl. So I'm just gonna write down acid donate H+. Okay, base ni accept H+. Okay, so what will happen is that NH2 ni will accept the H+ here lah. Remember, this is H+ Cl- kan sebenarnya. Okay, so pada NH2, it become NH3+. So the Cl- ni pun akan ikut sekali. Okay, our carboxylic acid, just let it be there lah. The same as our alcohol here. Okay, and the last one is when we react our tyrosine with methanol with traces of concentrated sulfuric acid. So again, when our COOH dengan our alcohol, kita akan form our ester lah. Ester ni nak remove H2O. Sama je, soalan banyak ulang-ulang kan? Okay, so this is our tyrosine. Okay, the methanol. So, methanol tu, it means that we have 1 carbon. So, methanol, 1 carbon. Remember, carbon needs 4 bond. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, dekat sini. So, what we have here, what we're going to do is actually we're going to remove the OH from our carboxylic acid and remove H from our alcohol. Okay, C double bond O, masih ada lagi. Terus attach pada oksigen. Okay. Oksigen ni attach pada only 1 carbon kan? Only 1 carbon here. So, ni lah yang 1 carbon kita sini. Kan 1 carbon ni. Ni lah 1 carbon kita. Okay, so that is the solution. Okay. So, as you can see, the question for the amino acid ni straightforward sikit. It's just that, remember lah. Dia, for the amino acid, kalau dia minta PI ataupun pH, you have to know. PI ataupun pH mana tadi? First question ni. Okay, so you have to know this part lah. If the reaction tanya pasal acid dengan base, dia reaction dengan acid, reaction dengan base, then you have to know lah. Determine, apa ni? From your amino acid, which one is the basic, which shows the basic properties, which one shows the acidic properties. Okay, so that's it for this video.